everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about change and being able to adjust to change, and whenever there is too much that you're constantly too much change that you're constantly having to adjust, and why that might not be a good thing. It might be a bad thing. Okay, now as a sociologist, I'll say that having the ability to adjust to change is a good thing. Overall, it's a good thing to be able to, adjust, to be flexible in, like just what's going on in your little world, your little part of the world. I don't want to say your world is little, but, what you do, what you like to do, what you do for fun, what you do with your friends, what you do on your job. It's good to be able to adjust whenever something changes. Say, like, you have a new coworker or a new person joins your group or something along this line. I would say that's a good thing to be able to adjust. But what about when you wind up having to adjust constantly, almost constantly? Quite often you have to adjust to something new. Now that, I would say, is not a good thing. And one of the reasons, plenty of reasons, one is because your focus has to be on constant change and not on expanding or being able to concentrate. Expanding from one part of whatever it is to develop it into something better as it is without having to change. Now let me make some sense out of this. Okay, one of the biggest changes I've seen lately is, of course, in technology, and it's constant. It seems like to me, just on social media alone, these platforms, not all of them, but you can see one day it's this is how you do this feature, this is how you do that feature, and even what you call these kinds of things. Like platforms used to be, a lot of people just called them forums, the terminology itself. But yeah, the changes now, this social media changes the way you use that feature. You have to go to a different place. You have to learn the new way that it is, since they upgraded that. I had this little beef about my phone, that I used to do my videos on under gallery, and they took that away. I can no longer do it, and I was doing it for a year and a half. And now I'm having to use another one. And then I did get another one, and then that one didn't work on all. I don't even know what you would call that. But, like people watching on TV, they have different converters, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, it's like people, I don't know what people call that now these days. But, yeah, that next video editor wouldn't work on that. It would show it as a green screen. So I had to get another one, and that one worked and didn't show it as a green screen. It's constantly changing, or just, like I said, how you use that platform, how you, leave a comment might change. If you can leave a comment, might change. Another example, speaking along the same line, really, we just recently got a Roku, okay, to watch Hulu on TV, okay, and we had a different kind of converter or whatever they are before that, so we had to learn how to use this new one, and it seems so far too often that it's having to learn something new. Now, what would be the bad about that? Sure, some people say, oh, it doesn't take all that long to do that, but when you have a lot of them, think about it. And my phone seems to be doing that today, making videos blurry. But yeah, think about, if it's always, every time you use something, you have to learn the new way, because people, humans are creatures of habit too, and it becomes habitual to you to use your whatever product, your phone, your converter, your whatever, a certain way, and then all of a sudden you have to change it again and again and again. It just constant change. sure, that could bring about some problems because it depends on how much you use these, and these days it seems like you may be using it quite often, even at work, the software, even the hardware. I don't know if people still call that this day because there's constant change. But yeah, when you're constantly having to learn new features on your computer at work, whatever you do at your, with the software, whatever, you're constantly having to learn something new. This takes away, like I said earlier, it takes away from various things, including how much time you have to spend with actual humans in your life. People who are actually there face to face in your face to face world, and what you think about them, how you feel about them, what you do with them, what you do all around. You may be spending too much time just with technology, and trying to figure it out. What is the new change? What is this? Trying to get a new habit with it before it's taken away from you again. And I could go down the road with how many times you have to buy something new. How often you have to buy something new. These days, it's been like this for many years. I had my first computer in 1982. 82. Yeah, and it's changed quite a bit over the time. And it wasn't as bad back then. You could still use an older computer for a long while. I did. But the more and more as things change, the quicker it's like you have to replace your computer, or it doesn't work right with whatever. And sometimes, I don't even know if they even have what's considered a modem anymore. I don't know what it is they consider it, but it's not going to run as fast. It's going to, whatever has changed on the internet, it's going to go much slower now. Yeah, and so it's kind of like every couple of years you got to buy a new computer, or yours is really outdated. No, see, I could go down that road talking about that too. But yeah, but it happens that every time you turn around, something has changed. Not a good thing. Not a good thing in my opinion. I have a master's in sociology. My degrees are in both psychology and sociology. And no, it's not a good thing to have to constantly change. So what can change that of having to have a constant change? Good question. Really. Okay, and there is really no one answer to that, because of each individual's situation could be very different from one to the other. Like me, I don't work outside the home. If I went to a place of employment and they kept constantly changing their software, or employees, or the staff, or whatever, they kept constantly changing, and I needed that job, say I needed it, my situation, that situation would be different from what it is now, for me. But really, I think that people need to really start thinking about this, thinking about how this is too much. This change is too much, too fast, and reconnect with the real, actual world, and not just their cell phones, their computers, their iPads, or whatever they're called these days. I remember the first time I ever heard notebook. As far as electronic notebook, I'd never heard of it called notebook before. I never even heard of one. But yeah, there's, and I don't even know if they call them notebooks now. I don't know. There's just so many changes over all this time, and this is too much. Now, yeah. Now, well, let me say this. Whenever I say anything, usually it's to Adam about this, he would say, yeah, he would disagree with me, because he is one who makes some of these changes. A lot of them. But over the years. But he would disagree and say that, you need it for things like medicine, or, whatever it is. There are a lot of things. And we need these changes, these upgrades, these people learning new and more. Well, that would be true. You would think, that surgeons might want to know the latest and use the latest equipment for medical, reasons and all that. But what if the surgeon is constantly having to learn something new? Really? Is that good for the patient? Think about it. I can't give you an answer. I know what I think. What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to know the video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And go out and have fun. Talk to y'all later. Bye.